welcome to today's video. Today I'm so excited because I'm starting 2 new units from Moving Beyond the Page, and I'm just going to talk through the units themselves, my thought process, kind of what we're doing, what we're switching up, how I prep, how I plan, and I'm going to be talking just in general about Moving Beyond the Page curriculum. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. I am a working homeschooling mom to 3 kids. I currently have a 5th grader, 3rd grader, and pre-K-er, and I share our journey here on YouTube. So if you have kids around my age and you're homeschooling and you love all things homeschool curriculum, homeschool life, you'll want to make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you like these types of videos where I'm talking about like when I'm starting a new unit, moving beyond the page, give this video a thumbs up so I know you guys are enjoying the content I make. Let's get into like the nitty gritty. I'm starting 2 units, and why am I starting 2 units? Because the point has come in our homeschool where my 2 daughters are no longer wanting to do stuff together. So I have a 5th grader and a 3rd grader. A lot of times with like unit studies, science, history, I kind of smush them together because it just helps me. I'm super busy because I work during the week, and instead of having to teach 2 separate curriculums, I can just kind of do it all together. But I get their concerns. My oldest is extremely independent, and she's getting ready to go into middle school next year, and she wants more challenging work. She does feel like she's waiting a lot for her younger sister, and then my middle daughter feels like she's being rushed and she just wants to enjoy stuff. So I know for sure I'm gonna have to separate them like next school year. So as I'm planning for next year already, we're going to start trying out some things this year so I can kind of forecast and see how next year is going to go. So let's talk about Moving Beyond the Page. I've done tons of videos on Moving Beyond the Page. I have an entire dedicated playlist because I always get so many questions on Moving Beyond the Page, and there's not a lot of other like content creators that talk about it. So I'm doing my best to try to share as much as I can. So let me explain how Moving Beyond the Page works really quick. So Moving Beyond the Page is a curriculum company. They create literature-based units. You can either use them as year-long curriculum, which means that you would use their program for your core subjects, language arts, science, and social studies for an entire year. You would buy that grade level package, and that's what you would do. You would get like 24 of these units with the corresponding books that go with them. And that is how your child's school year would look. Or you can use these individually. So each unit can be used standalone individually. If you use them together, they do build on each other. They do share concepts and lessons, but they work completely individual too. What we've been doing for the past 2 years, so we've been using this curriculum, we used it last year, we've used it this year, is so far we're doing individual unit studies. We have done science, social studies, and language arts, all variations of their units. We do tend to do a little bit more of their language arts units because I love the reading aspect of it, the books we read, the discussion questions, the activities, but I also really like their other units too. So I think I've explained that so far where we're at. So saying that means I was picking 1 unit for both of my daughters to use. And now the units are age leveled out. So they do span a couple years. So like this one is ages 7 to 9. I believe this is their 3rd grade. This one is 9 to 11, which I want to say that is their 4th or 5th grade. This is their 5th grade level. So 3rd grade, 5th grade. We've used varying ages, levels. What I think is very important to point out is once you get to this level, which again is their equivalent to 5th grade, so it's ages 9 to 11, these become independent. So our 3rd grade one, this is more parent teacher led. I read the directions to my kids, I assign them the assignments, this is written to me. When we get into the 9 to 11 and up, so 5th grade and up, it becomes independent. This book is written to my child. So why is that important? That is important because I did not realize that their units became independent at the 5th grade level. So I was stressing out. I can't teach 2 of these units separately every day to both my daughters. That's just going to take too much time on top of like all of our other subjects. But when I learned that 5th grade and up is independent, I was like, okay, well then my oldest daughter could do it independent, and then I would just continue teaching my middle daughter. Bringing it back, why are we doing 2 units? Because both of my daughters are going to be doing separate units. So my current, she's 3rd grade, is going to be doing the ages 7 to 9, People Who Change the World. And my oldest daughter, who's in 5th grade going into 6th grade, is going to be using the ages 9 to 11, American Tall Tales and Legends. This unit is a more social studies themed unit, and this one is more language arts. Why did I pick these 2 specific units? Because I had them sitting on a shelf. That is the honest to God reason why these got picked out of anything. And I had a ton sitting on my shelf in varying age ranges, and I actually just sold them all besides these 2 because I told both my daughters, I said, go pick what units you want to do. That's what we're going to be doing. My goal for future units is my 3rd grader is going to bump up to the next age level, which is the 4th grade level, which is 8 to 10. That's like their age range. And then my current 5th grader, she's actually going to do a couple more 5th grade units, and then she's moving on to the 6th grade units. So they will both be at more appropriate levels of their coursework. But these are really, I had them, they wanted to use them. We're going to do like a really quick trial. Like, is this possible? Is my 5th grader going to be able to do this independently? Are me and my middle daughter going to be able to do this independent, like, you know, together, but her independently? How is this going to go? And that's going to give me a glimpse into future planning for next year. So I've explained why we're doing 2 units, kind of a little bit about moving beyond the page, their age levels, all of that. If you have more questions specifically about moving beyond the page, leave those down below in the comments. I do plan on doing more like in-depth future videos, so those questions will help me kind of formulate that video. But let's prep. So how do I prep for a moving beyond the page unit? Well, one thing, their units are literature based. So if you buy them directly from Moving Beyond the Page and you choose to get the literature, then you have everything you need. I buy these sometimes from Moving Beyond the Page, sometimes I find them used. These ones I bought used last year, and so I just bought these units used. I didn't have the literature or books that go with them. Normally for 1 unit, you need 1 or maybe 2 books, just depending on what's going on. So for this book, People Who Change the World, this is a social studies unit. And I'm just going to explain what this unit is about. In this unit, students will examine the traits of responsible citizenship and the impact that it can have on a community. Children will explore the characteristics of a good leader, read about people who change the world, and learn about the challenge of injustice and discrimination. At the end of this unit, students will plan and carry out a project where they themselves can change the world in a positive way. Okay. So down here is the required books and materials list. So required books is Miss Rumpus and Starry Messenger. Both of these are like shorter picture books. They're not chapter books. And then these are all the materials. So there are hands-on activities throughout this unit. So there's things like they need, you know, colored pencils, scissors, construction paper, a journal, a dictionary, and then that's like common, like you should just have those on hand, which I don't know most homeschool parents that don't have those. But then it breaks it down by each lesson. So this is kind of what I look at in my weekly planning. So like I know we're probably going to go through lessons 1, 2, and 3 this upcoming week. So I need to make sure we have glitter, stuffed animals, note cards, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff down here. There's a paper towel tube, a craft knife, a map. So like this, I really need to like focus and make sure we have all that. We get to this lesson, I'm not like taken off guard, like I don't have that stuff. So this front page exists in every unit. It's like the glance. What do you need to complete this entire unit? You need to look at this, you need to prepare. And then like I said, I look at the lessons specifically we're gonna be doing that week. And then like right now, I'm gonna go grocery shop, or not grocery shopping, but shopping this weekend. I'll make sure those supplies get added, or I'll go through our current supplies and make sure we have everything that we need. Now, because I didn't get the books with this unit, I have a couple options. If you want to save money, because again, these books are only going to be used while you're doing this unit, I would recommend getting them at your local library. You know, we have like an online system where I can search the books and reserve them. These units do take about 3 weeks to complete. 2 to 3 weeks depending on your schedule, your child. So that is normally how long you're allowed to check out books too. So I would recommend, if you're looking to save money and if you don't want to feel bad about buying a book and only using it for 3 weeks, I would definitely recommend using your library. Something else that I really like doing is using discount bookstores online. So like Thrift Books or Book Outlet. I actually got both these books on Thrift Books. I think I paid less than $3 for each book. This one is like an old library book. Like you can actually even see the old library stamp on it, which I think is kind of fun. So Thrift Books is a great place. Now the books are not going to be pretty. They have markings on them. They have stamps on them if they're old library books. But again, I don't care for those 3 weeks. So for my middle daughter's unit, she needed just these 2 books. So this is not a chapter book situation where like our other units, they're reading a chapter book. So this one, they're reading 2 different books, learning about 2 different people and like their stories. So I kind of like that switch up than reading a chapter book. So it is nice that there is like that variation in there. So I need to make sure that we have the books and supplies, which we do have the books for this one. For American Tall Tales and Legends, this one does require 2 books also. Let me explain what this unit is about. Discover how Paul Bunyan created the Grand Canyon. Wrestle a rattlesnake with Pecos Bill. Enjoy folk tales and legends from the different geographical regions of the United States. Revisit familiar characters and meet many new ones as well. Learn how to identify the different types of stories, understand figures of speech, and practice writing with correct capitalization. Create your own folk tale that reflects the region in which you live. So that is like the overall like what's happening in this unit. This is a language arts based unit, so that is why you're going to be seeing like capitalization, like grammar and writing practice, because this is meant to be covering language arts skills. There are 2 books for this one, American Tall Tales and Cut from the Same Cloth, which like the same price it would have been on Thrift Books, but I'm getting them in like a day with Prime delivery. So the American Tall Tales, which I believe is like a collection of stories, that one I got for $5.99. And then the other one, Cut from the Same Cloth, that one too, like $5. So a lot of times the reason I buy the books is because I will resell these units, except not this time. So let's go into that too. So these are available print, which I'm showing you right now, or digital. You're going to save a lot of money buying the digital copy, but then you're going to print out the student pages. So this is the 3rd grade level. So remember, this is teacher led. This is what your like teacher page, it tells you what's going to happen in the lesson, what your kids need to do, all the things. And then it goes into like the worksheet pages. So you could just have your kid fill these out in here and then this book is done, right? Because your kid wrote in it. There's really not much you could do. It's used, you could keep it for records, all of that. So with the younger grade ones, and because I was using it with multiple students, I would have to make copies of the activity pages, or I would buy the online version and print out the activity pages. So this time I'm not doing that. These, I bought both of these used and they're not, this one's in pretty good condition, but like this one's not. The person who sold it to me, I think they gave me this one for free because it's like water damaged almost. I don't know if you can tell, it's like crunchy and like all like rippled. So I'm not going to resell this one. And this is the 5th grade one. This one is written towards the child, and so I'm gonna hand this to my 5th grader. And so this is like how her lesson looks. So the font's bigger and it has like, okay, this is what you're doing, here's your task, and then it goes into kind of like a checklist. So like here's all the activities she needs to complete for this lesson, and then it goes into those activity pages. So for her, she's definitely just going to be writing in her unit. So just, that's how I've kind of, I don't know what I'm saying, but like there's times I buy the books because I know I'm going to resell them, or I just find a good deal and I'm impatient waiting on our library, or sometimes the library doesn't have them. I don't know. It's all over the place with what I do, but I'm telling you all your options. You can borrow the books, get discount books, buy them on Amazon, whatever your choice is. So next that I'm going to do is I'm going to input the daily lessons into our online homeschool planner. I use an online planner from Homeschool Planet. I've shared it a bunch, lots of videos. They do actually work with Moving Beyond the Page, where you can purchase a lesson plan and it automatically like fills in everything for you. The only downside is you have to purchase a lesson plan for like that entire year of curriculum. Because I'm using random years, one-off units, that doesn't make sense for me to purchase. So I just manually input everything. And the reason I want to do that is because I can assign tasks to my oldest daughter, assign tasks to my middle daughter, and kind of print them individual checklists. Because again, we're going from working on one of these units as a family to now them both doing 2 separate units. So that means even though my oldest daughter is doing it independently, I still need to kind of be aware, like, okay, what's going on? Like, what are you reading? What are you supposed to be doing? At the back of her books, remember, this is independent, written towards the student. At the back, there is the teacher guide. So at the back, I get my parent overview. So this goes into all the lessons, all the books that she was reading. If she was assigned reading that day, it will have reading questions that on her end she should be answering, but then it gives me the answers. So then if I'm not able to sit there with her and discuss it with her, I can go back through and grade it and make sure that, you know, she's understanding the reading and things like that. So you're not missing the parent guide in here. It's just set up a little bit differently. It is in the back of the book. So next steps, I need to enter this in my homeschool planner. And even if I didn't use an online planner, I would be writing this in my paper planner. We normally do 1 lesson a day. These are normally 10 lessons each. So we school 3 days a week. We do our units 3 days a week. And so they take us about 3 weeks to finish. I'm also going to go through the supply list for at least the first week to make sure my kids have all the supplies we need. I like to go through the lessons just so, again, there's no surprises, because sometimes I, am not able to be right there with them, and I just need to be able to be like, look, this is what you need to do. Read these pages of the book, answer these questions, we'll go over it later. So I like to just kind of be up and aware. Every lesson, there are multiple activities. So there's normally like around 3 activities. So your child would do those activities to complete the lesson. There are times where I don't want my kids doing one of the activities for whatever reason. It may be because it's repetitive from another curriculum that we're using. It may be because I don't feel like they need to do it. I did see a lot of that in the younger level for my older daughter. So like the last unit we did, there was a couple activities where they were making like little animal puppets, and my oldest daughter, she's over that. We're not doing that. She loves art and doing stuff, but these were very young. They were even, I think my pre-K was the only one who was like, yeah, I want to make a mouse puppet. So I like to just kind of pre-screen, and if there's an activity we're not going to do, I'm going to rip it out of the book. I'm going to cross it off. We're not even going to go there. So we don't always do every single activity either, so keep that in mind. All right, I think I talked enough in this video. I feel like it's super long, but I just wanted to kind of get my mindset out there, explain kind of what I'm working through as far as separating my girls, starting to do different levels, and this really is a preparation for next year as I'm deciding on curriculum and how we're going to move forward next year. So you guys kind of got a glimpse. These are the 2 units we're going to be working on next. If there is one that you want to see more of, you want us to show you how a lesson works, you want to flip through, you want me to go in depth on it, leave that down below in the comments. I think both of these are super fun topics. I'm excited to go through them. I haven't even fully looked through all the activities yet, so I'll be excited to share that with you guys. But as always, I will be making individual review videos on each one of these units once we finish them. So if you're not already, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wonderful homeschool week, and we'll chat soon.